Hey, welcome back, everybody. Today we have more notes, and this one is lesson 1-2B, measure angles. Okay, and there's a lot of definitions in this one. Geometry is a lot of definitions because it's a lot of new things, or different. It's a lot of different things than like algebra, pre-algebra, advanced algebra. So anyway. So whenever we measure an angle, right, it's always the smallest amount of rotation about the vertex from one ray to the other. So see, imagine, and then here we have the angle measure, and angle measures, they're measured in degrees. So this is 135 degrees. So imagine, oh man, I don't have something smaller, so I could show you. But imagine, watch, it looks like this. So an angle is two rays, right? We learned that in the last notes. So imagine as it's rotating like this, okay, the angle measure is this inside part. So this one kind of looks like this, right? Again, first they begin kind of on top of each other, and then it starts to rotate. And it rotates all the way around if it has to. Okay. So that's what we're measuring when we measure angles. We're measuring, let's see if I can do this, how much it rotates, opens up like this. Okay. Oh. And again, it's measured in degrees. This one right here would be right around 135 degrees. Angle measures, it's always a value between 0 and 180 degrees. Anything bigger than that is actually called the reflex angle. Okay. Let me lower this. Give me a second, I'm going to try to autofocus this guy. Okay. So the reflex angle is the largest amount of rotation less than 360. So you subtract out 360. So like imagine I redrew this one over here, right? If I take the 135 and subtract 360, I'm left with 225, which is the reflex angle. Okay, and I did the subtraction there. And again, that one is the reflex angle. This is the regular angle measure, and this is the reflex angle measure. Okay, or the reflex measure. That's what I said, reflex measure angle. I like to think of these two together make a circle, right? Imagine if I just continued this, it would be one complete circle. So the regular angle and the reflex angle make a circle. Okay, and next we have protractor. This is a tool used to measure angles. You guys don't have we may not have a protractor. I tried to sketch one right here. If you can't draw, that's fine. But protractors look like this guy right here. Let me show you. This is what a protractor is, right? And we use it to measure angles. You won't need to go buy one. The worksheets that we'll do have a protractor already on it. Okay, so don't worry about that, but this is an example of a protractor. Okay, so that's protractor. And then the last thing we have on here is congruent angles. That would be two angles with equal measures. Okay, that means they measure the same. And then again, you know when we had congruent sides and we put little tick marks on them to show they are congruent? Well, we can do the same thing with angles. See how this angle here and this angle, I put this little red mark on it? That tells me these are congruent. And I would say angle DOG is congruent to angle CAT. Okay, remember that's how you name them, again from the last section. Now this, when we again, this is kind of petty in geometry, but there's a difference. This is referring to the angles, and we say they're congruent because saying they're equal means they're exactly the same. Okay, but they're not exactly the same. They look like they're the same, but they're not. But whenever we use equal, we're talking about an actual measure, and that's what this notation here says. The measure of angle DOG is equal to the measure of angle CAT. So imagine both of these equal 45. So I just put 45 degrees equals 45 degrees. So again, this is referring to a diagram. I kind of talked about this before, and this is referring to like a measure. Usually it's a number, like inches, degrees, feet, or a length. Okay. So if you need to pause it. I'm gonna do the examples. Okay. So here's the examples for lesson 1-2B. The first thing, it says determine the number of degrees for each rotation. Now somewhere a rotation is just going all the way around, right? That's a rotation. Now I'm not sure where or when you were told this, but you should have been told, see, one rotation is going all the way around like this. Somewhere you should have been told that that's 360 degrees, or you should have heard that somewhere. If you haven't, well, now you have. That's 360 degrees, right? Now I think, I could be wrong, I think they got that number from, because you know when the Earth rotates around the sun, it's roughly 365 days. Maybe that's where they got this number from, because one rotation is 360 degrees. Okay. So think that one rotation around the sun is 365. Well, one rotation in math is 360. And a half rotation, well, it would just be half of this, right? But I'm going to show you what it would look like. Imagine this goes here, from here to here. Okay, so a half rotation is 360 divided by 2, or just half of 360. That would equal 180 degrees, right? And then a fourth rotation. Well, a fourth rotation would look like this, from here to here, right? And then 1/4 of 360 is 90 degrees. And then, you know, you could figure out 2 rotations. Well, you would multiply that by 2. You could figure out 3 rotations, or any fractional rotation, right? You would just take whatever the fraction is and multiply by 360. This is the main one. And then these are real common angles that you'll see a lot. 180 degrees, 90 degrees. And I didn't draw in the angle right there, but it looks like this. Right? That's what the angle would look like. So really right there, I just wanted to introduce you to rotations. Okay? I know it does come up in the assignment we'll do today. So, copy that. Moving on. So then this also comes up in today's assignment. It's basically marking diagrams with information, and you'll also be able to take out information from diagrams that have been marked. But I'll give you a second to copy these. Go ahead and pause it right now so you can copy it, and then unpause it so you can see how to work it out. Okay, so hopefully you copied it. I'm going to work through this. So this tells me TH equals 6. Well, from T to H, that's this length, that equals 6. So in my diagram, all I need to do is put a 6 there. Okay, so let's do the other one. OH, this is the, I'm going to skip this one because this is angles, but OH is equal to 8. So OH would be over here. So all I need to do is put the 8 next to it. And then for this one, 90, the way we show 90 degrees in an angle, 90 degrees is always, we call it square. Okay, so what we do is we find the angle first, THO. So here's THO. The middle letter is the vertex, and that pretty much tells me where the angle is, right? THO. So wherever the vertex is, or wherever the angle is, we put a square. And again, the square tells me it's 90 degrees. So whenever you see this on an angle or a triangle, think 90 degrees. Okay? So I put the markings in. So imagine if these markings weren't here, or if that information wasn't there, I would know THO is 90 degrees because of the square. I know TH is 6 because I have 6 over here, and I know HO is 8 because of that 8, and that's what we have here. Okay, so let's move on to this one. This one tells me side RA is equal to side SA. Well, here's RA, so I'm going to put a mark on it, and then SA, and I'm going to put the same mark. That way I know these two have the same marks on them. That means they're equal. Okay, that means they're equal. I don't care what the measurement is. They're equal. See, they don't tell us like this one that it equals 6 and 8. They just told us they're equal. Well, I can show you they're equal by putting these marks on them. Okay. Let's go to the angles. The measure of angle T. Well, here's T. So that's angle T is equal to the measure of angle H. Okay, so here's angle H. There's H. And how do I show these angles are congruent? By putting that little mark in there. Okay. And I know it's different from these. One, because this is an angle, and then two, the other thing is this is the side. Okay. And then also notice how the mark is. And the last piece of information we have to put in here is RT is equal to SH. Well, RT is over here. And then SH is over here. Now I can't put one mark because I know it's not the same as this one. So what I got to do is put 2 marks. So 2 marks is different than this one, right? But it's the same as this one. So RT is equal to SH. And how do I know that? Because they have the same marks. These two are the same or equal because they have the same mark. And then these two are equal because they have the same mark. And that's the information we were given. And that is it. These are long notes.